Hi there, this is Leonard Parker from Financier SEO, and I hope this presentation and this video finds you well. In this video, I'm going to go over some online marketing strategies for financial professionals. So this includes financial advisors, wealth managers, investment managers, tax planners, and anyone who works in the financial advisory and financial management industry. Now, if you have a website and you've been marketing online, you probably wondered what it would be like to have a dominant web presence for your business online. In other words, what it would be like to be known as a top financial advisor in your city or town. What if, with your marketing strategy, you could get a flood of consistent, qualified prospects calling your business and contact you on your website? Furthermore, if you had that consistent flood of traffic, you would not have to worry about your marketing strategy, and you can focus on other areas of your business and adding more value to your clients. Well, in this presentation, you're going to discover a blueprint for covering the most important online marketing medium that you should be tapping into for your financial advisory service business, which is the internet. How you can get your firm ranked on page 1 for the most important keywords related to your business in your area. In addition to that, I will also be going over a proven strategy to get listed in the Google Map rankings for your area. Furthermore, I will also be providing a step-by-step strategy so that you can get more repeat and referral business from social media. And most importantly, and probably what you're most interested in, I can help you double your number of qualified leads via the web. Now let's go ahead and get started. So why the internet? So as you probably know, over the last 10 to 15 years or so, there has been a massive transition from offline to online. People in the 90s and early 2000s might have looked at the yellow pages to find businesses such as yours, or consult friends or family. These days, stats tell us that more than 42% of consumers research a business online before actually starting business with them. Why is that important for you? Well, the research shows that there are over millions of searches every month for financial advisory and related services. So it's important that you are tapping into that market. And if you are a bit skeptical, just consider these results. So as you can see here, this are the search results for Houston financial advisor in Houston. You can see here this firm, Strategic Financial Advisors, HoustonStrategic.com, they're ranking number 2 in the organic rankings. Now, if you're not really sure the difference between the organic or paid or map rankings, I'll be going over that in more detail later. But just follow me for these two examples. So you can see here, they're ranking number 2 for Houston Financial Advisor. Now, if we look at the stats here, you can see the type of search volume and traffic that they're getting for being ranked number 2. So you can see I've highlighted here in red the relevant key terms. So here you have Financial Advisor Houston, Financial Advisors Houston, Houston Financial Advisors, and Strategic Financial Advisors. And you can see here these keywords, they make up a bulk and a majority of the search traffic that this website is getting. I'll give you another example. So these are the search results for Indianapolis Financial Advisor, and you see here at number 3, Valio Financial Advisors, their website is listed at number 3. Now we go to the stats and the search volume stats. You'll see here financial advisors in Indianapolis, financial advice, financial advisory companies, financial advisors, Indianapolis. these make up a large percentage of their overall search traffic. And this is for being ranked at the top of the Google search results. And you might be wondering, well, Leonard, these terms don't have Indianapolis in them, so how those are relevant? Well, the way Google works and what they're really pushing for is local results. So let's say you're in Miami and you type in financial advisors. Based on your location, Google will return results that are most relevant to you, which will of course be financial advisors in your area, in the Miami area. And so that's the case here. So if someone typed in financial advisors and they were actually in Indianapolis, it would return Indianapolis relevant search results. So that's why I have included those here. Now we're going to cover the exact strategies that produce these results. And there's several different areas that you should prioritize when you're building out your online marketing strategy. And I will go through step by step each one. Now, first of all, you have your search engine marketing. So this includes, you probably heard this term thrown around, SEO, or search engine optimization. In other words, these are your organic rankings, and that's what we were looking at before. You have your Google Map listings. So if you've ever seen, I'll go back up here so you can see, these are your Google Map listings. So you have the map and you have these, what we call the Google Local Pack or Local 3-Pack here under the map. You also have pay-per-click, which is your paid listings, and these are typically listed at the top of Google search results. Other than search engine marketing, you also have social media marketing. So common social platforms include Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. You have niche relevant online directories. So there are many directories out there for financial advisors and financial professionals. So you do have those directories, and that's an important component of an effective online marketing strategy. You also have paid lead services, and I'll get more into detail on those later. The reason why those are at the bottom of the list is we find that working with financial professionals, these paid lead services don't always provide qualified and the most quality traffic and leads. Now, to help you visualize this and how you should prioritize your strategy, I've included this graphic here. And you can see here at the bottom, there's organic SEO. And the reason why it's the bottom, it's the foundation, is because it's the most important. Once you optimize your site for SEO, including building out the site so that it has the potential to rank well, do the proper on-page optimization, and do sufficient off-page optimization, you will have a solid foundation for the rest of your online marketing strategy. And the best thing about organic SEO, if you approach it in a very ethical and a manner that Google likes, these are efforts that will pay dividends for years to come. And it can be difficult. There are shortcuts out there, but let me tell you from experience, shortcuts never work well with SEO. You always want to go about it in the most ethical way possible. Next up, you have social media. Now, you might be wondering, as a financial advisor or a financial professional, how does social media play into your marketing strategy? Well, I'll get into more detail on that later, but it's a great way to show a personality with your business. And let's take Facebook, for example. If you have a Facebook business page, it's a great place for people who are happy with your services to get your reviews. It's also a great place to provide eminence in your area. So let's say you're a tax planning expert, you write articles. It's a great place to share those articles and a great way to get exposure to potential clients. I'll take another example, YouTube. It's very effective, and not enough financial professionals are using it. It's a great way to showcase your expertise. So let's say you had a video of the week, and you every week you covered some topic, you answer some frequently asked questions from your clients. Well, not only are you building you're showcasing your expertise online, but you're also attracting future clients. Next up on this pyramid, you have paid directories. And these are some examples might include financial advisor, financial engines, and these are places where you list your business, you list the business information, and from there, you pay is typically a monthly or yearly fee, and you will have a paid listing. These are great for building authority to your website, which is a factor that Google looks for, and it can be very effective in your online marketing strategy. Lastly, we have PPC here at the top, and if you're not familiar with PPC, I'll be going into more detail later, but basically it's you pay to have some placement in the Google search results, is usually at the top, and you are paying per click. So every time someone clicks on your ad, you're charged some fee based on the competitiveness of that keyword. And the reason why this is at the top, and it's something that I encourage my clients to postpone until you have these other areas built up, is that PPC, it works really fast. However, you definitely have to have a sufficient investment. So I encourage my clients to have at least a $2,000 budget just for PPC. And that's the only way you're going to be able to compete with the top competitors. Other than that, when you're advertising on Google, you're pretty much borrowing their traffic. So what I mean is, let's say you put up an ad, great. You'll start getting traffic from that ad. As soon as you turn off that ad, you'll no longer get traffic. So you haven't built a sustainable medium to get traffic and get qualified leads through your website. Organic SEO, on the other hand, you are building that long-term steady flow of sustainable traffic to your website. Now, to elaborate on the previous slide, which online marketing tactics should you be using in 2017? Well, first off, as I mentioned before, your SEO and your optimizing your website to rank well is the most important. So making sure that you're following the best practices for on-page optimization and that you are optimizing your website so that it is built to get conversions, whether that be calls or email or form submissions from qualified leads. Make sure that your site is mobile friendly. It's sad to say that even in 2016, now we're going into 2017, that many websites aren't mobile friendly. And that doesn't only mean that you can see it well on a mobile device. You also need to make sure that your website is optimized to load quickly on mobile. And this is a very important component, and it's actually a key ranking criteria that Google uses for websites. So very important, that's why it's towards the top of this list. Building on the first point, get active with your SEO. So it's not enough just to optimize your website for SEO, and I'll get more into detail what needs to be done there. But you need to be link building that eminence across for your brand, creating great content that people are going to find useful, and not only posting it on your website, but finding guest blogging opportunities and opportunities to put your content and your expertise in front of the eyes of other people that don't usually visit your website. Moving on, you need to make sure that your website is optimized for Google Maps, and I'll go into more of the detailed steps of that later. But making sure that your citations are in order, that they're consistent across the board. And what's really important for your Google Maps, making sure that you're getting good reviews from your clients, and making sure that you have some type of process built into your business so that you are consistently getting those reviews. Next, get active on social media. So post regularly on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And the best advice for social media, uh, you want to go where you think your target audience will be. So that might not make sense in that case to be posting on Twitter. It might. It just you have to understand your clientele and typically where would they be on social media. Generally, for financial advisors, I recommend Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And Google Plus, even though it's not as popular as a social platform, is very important for your SEO. It builds authority. When you post content there from your site, it builds authority and really helps your overall SEO performance. Moving on, you want to leverage email marketing. It's great that you have a way to get clients from your website, but how do you stay in communication with those clients 3 months from now, 6 months from now, years from now? Email marketing is a great way to do that. You could do something as simple as a weekly or monthly newsletter where you're giving them tips and advice on new trends in the financial planning market and things that they need to be aware of. You can even go even further in detail and segment your email list to where, let's say, you service people who are planning for retirement, have specific content geared towards them. And maybe another group is you work with business owners and how they can go about building their business and building it into a viable income source. You might have a different set of content for them. So really you want to make sure that your content is specific and relevant for who you're sending it to. And then at the bottom of this list, consider paid marketing channels. So AdWords, online paid directories, and paid lead services. So as I mentioned in the slide before, you want to build up your base first before going into these paid marketing channels, because you are, for all intents and purposes, borrowing traffic from these different sources. And most importantly, you want to track and measure your results. What might work for one business may not work for you. So you want to see and measure those results and put your advertising, your marketing dollars into avenues where you're getting the most result. In other words, getting your best ROI. And so for the rest of this presentation, I'm going to break down 8 steps that it takes to get a very effective online marketing plan in place. So step 1 is really understand the search engines and to optimize and build your website so that it has great potential to rank well. Now, first off, this is the search results for Houston Financial Advisor. I'm based out of Houston, so you're going to hear Houston a lot in this video. But you can see here, these are the standard. This is a standard search results page. Now at the top here, you have the paid advertising. It's boxed in red here. And the way you know that it's paid advertising, you probably can't see here, but it's going to have in green the word ad next to each paid listing. After that, and this can differ, you're going to have your organic listings. So these are highlighted in green here. You can see these are your listings. So the top organic listing here would be top 12 best financial advisors in Houston. And then under the maps, these are more of the organic listings. Highlighted in blue here is the map listings. So I'll go into detail more about each of these later, but just understand the search engines and how these listings are placed. Now moving on, some stats that you should know about each of the different sections of the search results pages. So you can see here the pay results here at the top. 19% of all people click on these. Sometimes I've known people to ignore these altogether because they know they are paid listings and they're more interested in something that's local or something that's organic. Now you can see here the vast majority of folks they 44% they click on the #1 listing in the Google local pack. And you can see Bush Financial Planning, in this case, you can see where it is on a map. So this is very important for two reasons. First off, if someone is looking for a financial planner or a financial advisor in their area, getting on the Google Maps, you can see exactly where your business is. And so, okay, so let's say, for example, oh, okay, Bush Financial Planning, it's 5 minutes for me. I'm going to contact them about their services. That alone can help you get new clients. You can also, you can't quite see here, but right here you have the phone number. So let's say someone is busy, don't really have time to go to their website, they'll just give your business a call. And that's very important. Actually, on a mobile phone, instead of the phone number, it'll show the actual call button, so someone can call you directly by hitting that button. Now just think, that's 44% that click only on the first listing on the Google local pack. Just consider the #2 and #3, and you can see that makes up the bulk of clicks in the search results. You can see here 8% they click on the More Places page. So you can see only 3 listings are listed here, but if you click on More Places, you can see many more. And finally, 29% of people click on the organic search results. So those are pretty much anything that's not a paid or map listing. Now moving on to step 2, building out your website. So typical site, it has a typical financial advisor site has 3 to 5 pages. And this might work well, but we find that as you build out your site, you give your website a better chance to rank well in Google. Now, how exactly should you build out your site? Well, first off, we'll go into that a little bit more in detail later, but you should have a page for each service. So let's say your business, your agency, your firm, it offers investment management, you guys offer retirement planning, business exit planning, business succession planning, so forth and so forth. You should have a page for each service. Furthermore, if you service, let's say you service a large area like, let's say Miami, you want to make sure that not only do you have pages for Miami, but you have pages for each suburb of Miami, because you want to target these folks too. So definitely, I'll go into more detail about that later. But moving on, as you build out your website, you want to make sure you're targeting keywords that people are searching for in your area. Now, this is our good start. These are keywords that we found from our research that people are looking for, regardless of what city or town they're in. So definitely, if any of these keywords apply to your business, you should definitely find ways to include them on your website in the website copy. Now, as you add more pages to your website, so your standard website should have your home page, about us page, your services page, your clients page, where you include client testimonials and client stories, and a contact us page for people to contact you if they are interested in learning more about your services. Now that's the typical website. Your SEO built out website should include all of those pages, but as mentioned before, you should also have a page that's geo-targeted for your city or suburb, and you should have a page for each one of your services. So estate planning, asset protection, retirement planning, succession planning, business exit planning, and so forth. And then a page for each suburb. So going back to Houston Financial Advisor, Katy, which is a suburb of Houston, Katy Financial Advisor, the Woodlands Financial Advisor, and so forth. Now here's an example. This is one of the websites I talked about before, Strategic Financial Advisors. So you can see here under the resources tab on their top navigation, they have subpages for each of the different areas that they focus on. So retirement, investment, estate planning, insurance, and so forth. And you want to make sure that your website, you're building out these inner pages. Not only does it provide more content on your website, which is something Google and really all of the search engines like for top ranked sites, but it also positions you as more of an expert in your area. Um, and it's a great way to target different clients with different needs. Now moving on to the navigation and flow of your pages. So again, you should have a home page. You should have a About Us page where you're talking about yourself, your experience, your expertise, your background, and but also talk about your team. And you want to give people who visit your site a unique value proposition that you can offer them. So pretty much, typically this is called Why Choose Us. And you also want to talk about your services. So have a services page that talks about and lists each service that you offer clients. Clients testimonials, which are very important. This is a great way to showcase credibility on your website. So you always want to include some type of testimonial page or client story page. And of course, you want to have a contact us page. So a great way for people to contact you either by phone, by email, or if your office is able to accept form submissions, a way for them to submit their name and email to get more information. Now I'm going to go through a few websites here and show you examples of what you should be doing on your website. So the first here is the Golf Financier Group based in Houston. So you can see here they have a clear top navigation bar, so very simple, and someone who visits this website, they know exactly where they should go to find the information they're looking for. You might see some websites where the top navigation is really bunched together, but this has a very nice clean layout and presents a very good representation of their firm. Now, some elements of conversion to think about when you're building out your website. You always want to make it easy for potential clients to contact you. So the easiest way to do that is to include your top right or your number in the top right corner of your website. You also want to include some type of web form or button where prospective clients, they can request a consultation. You want to include links to your social media profiles wherever you are active. You want to include direct links to your online reviews and testimonials. You want to include your company name, address, and phone number on each page of the website. This is very important. Not only does it help people visiting your site know where to find you, but as you build out your citations with your off-page SEO strategy later, having this consistent across the board is very important to ranking well. On your website, you want to showcase personality. A lot of sites, they use stock photos, which isn't a good move. You want to showcase photos of yourself, your team, your office, photos of your clients if they are open to that. And you also want to, if possible, showcase videos. The great thing about videos is that you can cross-market them. So you not only can you put them on your website, but you can put them on YouTube, you can put them on Facebook, you can put them on LinkedIn, and it can really, videos are a great way to leverage social media. Badges of associations to add trust and credibility. So you might be a member of a national organization or national association or a local organization association. Make sure you put badges for those associations on your website. This again adds more credibility to your firm, and it can really be, help someone trust you before they even called you or contact you. Next, you want to make sure you have a clear explanation of why prospective clients should trust you for their financial planning needs. So again, this is that unique value proposition that you are offering your clients. So that's definitely something you want to make prominent on your website. Special incentives to drive action. So you want to have some type of incentive for people to contact you. And it should really make sense and align with what your goals are as a company. So let's say if someone contacts you on your website, you can offer them a free 30-minute phone consultation just to help them understand their issues and how you can help better serve them. This can be a great way to get more leads into your funnel, and that you can have more leads to convert later on in the process. Last but definitely not least, you want to have a mobile-friendly website. So not only does it look well on mobile devices, but that it loads well too. So that's a deal breaker, and it's something that Google is really cracking down on as we go into 2017. Now let's go back to the example with the Golf Financial Group, and we'll just go down some of the elements of conversion and how this site and other sites are doing them well. Now you can see here on the home page, they have this Book Your Meeting Now button, and it's very easy to find. Someone just don't even have to scroll, they can find it. And they are offering that incentive that I discussed earlier, the complimentary meeting. You want to always make sure that this call to action button and this offer is above the fold. Basically, above the fold means that the visitor, they don't have to scroll in order to see it. Next, you see here in the top right corner, they have their phone number, which is very visible and easy to see. And then if you scroll a bit further down on their website, they have these great trust badges so that people who are looking and are familiar with their company can, be rest assured that they are a reputable financial planning advisory. And this is actually at the bottom of their page, but they include their company name, their address, and their phone and fax number so that people can contact them as needed. And again, you also see here that they have included their trust badges again. Now, one thing that the Golf Financial Group didn't do a great job with is including those photos of real people with from their firm, or real photos of their clients. So looking at Messier Financial Advisors, who are also based in Houston, you can see here that they have actual images of people in their team. And when you include images of people on your team, of yourself, or of your clients, you really showcase personality with your firm, which is great. And that's something that can really help you connect with potential clients. Now moving on. This is the About Us page on the Golf Financial Group site. So you can see here they're making it personal. So they're using second voice pronouns such as our, we, us. It should be, any content on your website should really be like a conversation that you're having with a potential client. So you wouldn't refer to yourself, or I hope you wouldn't refer to yourself in a third person if you were talking to someone in person, talking to a potential client in person. And you should keep the same approach on your website with your website content. Now moving on to the mobile version of the Golf Financial Group website. So this is just a cutout of a mobile simulator online, but you can see that their website is very mobile friendly. You'll see these top 3 bars here. Someone clicks on that, they can navigate to other parts of their website, and you can even see that they have that lead offer I discussed before where people can book a complimentary meeting with their team. Now, delving down a bit deeper into the actual pages on your website, each page should address the person's specific concern and engage on that note. So your retirement planning page should address people who are planning for retirement. Pretty obvious, right? But you'll see sometimes the communication might be vague, so there's no real target for who's reading that. And not only should, let's go back to the retirement planning page example, not only should it target people who are planning for retirement, but it should talk in their language. Typically, those people might be, you probably wouldn't communicate with that group, that demographic, the same way that you would with someone who's straight out of college or in their 20s. So that's something to think about there. You should always have a clear call to action on each page or after each block of text. And you always want to make sure that call to action is specific. So going back to the retirement planning example, let's say you have a retirement planning page on your website. You want to make sure that your call to action at the bottom is specific to retirement planning. So a simple example would be, to learn more on how we can help you with planning for your retirement, contact us today. That's a very simple example, but you can see in that call to action is very specific to people who are looking for retirement planning services. Now, you always want to, one thing you want to do with your website, you want to keep them on your page, on your website as long as possible. Not only does it help you with SEO, typically pages that rank well, they have a higher average time on site with visitors, but it will also help move your potential clients, people who are visiting your website, further down your funnel into actually contacting you. So that's why you want to include all of the pages that I mentioned before. And then again, tell them why they should choose you for their financial planning needs. Provide those client stories, those client testimonials. Get emotional with those. You really want to hit that emotional nerve. And tell them, your background, your qualifications, your philosophy. Definitely important to articulate that on your website. Lastly, you want to have a web form on each page of your website. You don't want to leave any opportunities that a potential client, reads your content, is really impressed, but they don't know how to contact you. So definitely try to have a web form where they can submit at the minimum, their name, their email, and maybe their phone number to your office so that someone from your team can contact them. You should also have a contact us page. Now moving on, so just a recap of the core elements of conversion. You want to have that phone number in the top right hand corner. You want to have a clear call to action, driving people to contact your team. You want to have a web form on each page, or at the minimum have a contact us page to get potential client information. You want to have great content that engages visitors to your website and to give them a higher likelihood to contact you. You also want to, really articulate your unique value compared to your competitors. You want to add personality to your website, be authentic. So pretty much the culture of your office should be reflected on your website. You want to leverage reviews and testimonials, and where possible, get emotional. If you really help someone address a concern, such as helping them plan to get their children in college, definitely include testimonials like that. That's really what's going to drive people to action. And lastly, have that mobile ready site. So mobile friendly and it loads very well on mobile. Now, moving on to step 3, optimizing your website pages for search, or in other words, SEO. So, just some core elements of a good on-page optimization. You want to have a unique title tag on each page, and I'll get into more details about each of these points later. I'm just stating the components now. You want to have a H1 tag, or it's also often called a header tag. You want to make sure that your images that you're using on your website, that the actual file name they include the primary keywords that you're trying to rank for. Your URL on each page on your website, your URL for that page should match that page target keyword. So let's say, for example, you have a page on asset protection. So you should make sure that that page has your city assets protection in the URL. And in many cases, that would be enough. You want to make sure that you're strategically using anchor text on each page, and that is built into the footer. And you want to make sure that your XML sitemap is at the very least submitted to Google and Bing. And the sitemap, in a nutshell, tells Google bots and Bing bots, these are the automated processes that analyze your website and figure out where it needs to be ranked. The sitemap helps these bots know how to navigate your website. If it's difficult for these bots to navigate your website, it's going to be very difficult for you to rank well. So definitely want to make sure that you're submitting your sitemap. Now, starting off with the title tag, so you might not be able to see it here, but this is the title tag for SFMG Wealth Advisors. They're based out of Dallas. So you can see here that their title tag is Financial Planning, Wealth Management, and Dallas Financial Advisors. Now you can see, you can probably assume that they will want to rank well for any of those keywords. And so that's why they're in the title tag on their home page. Your typical financial advisor site, and I'm just making this up, let's say it's called, the company name is the Financial Advisory Group, and that's it. And that really doesn't do much for you in terms of SEO and ranking your website in the organic listings. So to drill down further on title tags, so let's say you had a wealth management services page. So this is probably something you will want to include in your title tag. So wealth management services, then Dallas or whichever city you're in, financial planning, then investment management. You want to use your primary keyword, but also some alternative keywords to what people are looking for if they're looking for wealth management services. A good way to think of alternative keywords, synonyms for your primary keyword. So if someone's looking for wealth management services, it's a good chance they might also be looking for financial planning, and they might also be looking for investment management. Now moving on to the financial planning page of the SFMG website, you can see here they have financial planning in their what we call the H1 tag. And best way to think about this, and let's say you're writing a paper or writing an essay, you're going to have different headers and subheaders. So you can see your main header here is financial planning, and then you have these subheaders. Effective financial planning begins with listening, and a complete financial arsenal. Now your header 1 tag is at the top of the food chain. So this is the most important thing and what the general theme of the page is. While your subheaders, which are probably H2 tags or H3 tags, drill down further on specific topics. And so you always want to make sure that your H1 tag has the main keyword that you're targeting for that page. That's the key takeaway here. Now moving on to step 4, optimizing your website for your Google Maps listing. So again, if you already forgot, your Google Maps is the listings that show up here under Maps. So this is the search results for Los Angeles Financial Advisor. You can see here these 3 agencies are listed in the Google Local Pack. And how I broke down in the stats earlier, you definitely want to be listed here because a large percentage of clicks go to these 3 websites. So now you might be wondering, how do you get ranked on a Google map? Well, first off, you want to go to Google My Business, and you go there, google.com/business, and you want to set up and optimize your profile so that it has great potential to rank well in the Google Map listings. To build on top of that, you want to make sure that you are building citations to your Google Map listing. And there are hundreds and probably thousands of different places online that you can have a citation. But the most important part here is that while quantity is very important, you also want to focus on quality. And quality is making sure that your name, your phone number, and your address information is consistent on your website, your Google Map listing, and on any citations that you build out there on the web. The next step to really optimizing your Google Map listing and getting ranked in that top 3 is getting reviews from your clients. So you can see here, this was the top Google Map listing result for Los Angeles Financial Advisor. You can see they have a 5-star rating and they have 12 reviews. So definitely you want to get reviews. Reviews are one of those things where you can never have enough of them, enough good reviews. Now moving on. So again, a breakdown of the different stats. So again, 44% of all searchers click on the first listing in the Google Local section, and 8% click on more places. So even if you're not in the top 3 here, if you can get your business in that top 5 or the top 10, you're going to reap some results and benefits from optimizing your Google Map listing. Now, to drill down further on citations, a citation is just a fancy word for a reference to your business, to your firm. So going back to high school, when your teacher probably told you to cite your papers, make sure that you cite any sources that you had. And this really was to show that your paper and the information you presented in it was reputable and believable. It's the same idea for your business. A citation and having them on quality sites just adds credibility in Google's eyes to your firm. And so typically on these citations, you're going to have your name, the name of your business, your address for your business, and your phone number. Well, name, it can be different across the board. Google isn't as strict about your business name. You have to make sure, this is critical, that your business address and your business phone number is consistent. And there are a ton of different online directory sites and online citation sites, but you want to make sure that you're on those major sites. So some of those include Google My Business. You want to make sure you have a Yelp listing. You want to make sure that you're in Yellow Pages, yp.com. You want to make sure that you are on Judy's Book, Merchant Circle, and the list goes on, but definitely you want to make sure that you're in those 5 or 6 on those 5 or 6 websites. Now, drill further down on reviews. So reviews are a major determinant of your placement within the Google listings. So you can see here, only the top result has reviews. So if someone were to come behind them and to get more reviews, they would have a good chance of outranking some of these other sites 3 to 6 months from now. And so you want to make sure that you have a process built into your client communications where you are regularly asking them for reviews. Not only for Google, but just for your website and for your other listings. You want to have testimonials to help potential clients become current clients. So this is a two-pronged approach that my team at Financier SEO uses. We send an initial email to the our client database, asking them to write a review about our company on Google, and then we make it very easy for them. We provide a URL to our Google My Business page. While we're communicating with clients, if we hear that they have positive things to say about our business and about the services that we're offering them, we ask them, hey, can you write us a review for us on Google? And we'll send them this URL to our Google My Business page. And it's very simple, but it's something that a lot of financial advisors, they ignore, but it's very important for your online marketing. Now, moving on to step 5, building inbound links and authority. So once your pages are built out and optimized for SEO, it's going to be links to your website into those pages that really determine your placement in Google search results. In other words, if you want to make SEO, search engine optimization, very simple, it really consists of two components. One, optimizing your website for SEO, so building out pages for your different services, and then making sure the different elements like the title tags, the H1 tags, and so forth are optimized. The second component of effective SEO is your off-page strategy. And that's really building quality and relevant links to your financial advisor site. So, and this really, everyone is doing the on-page optimization, but it's really those companies who set themselves apart with the link building. And again, you want to make sure that you have quality and relevant links. And so there are a lot of different ways you can think about that, go about that, but you want to make sure that your website is getting backlinks from relevant sources. So if you are a firm that specializes in estate planning, but you have a backlink from a website that sells Gucci bags or Cialis or something, that's obviously not relevant to your business. And Google sees that, and they're going to definitely red flag your site for those types of backlinks. Then again, you also want to make sure that those are quality backlinks. So one thing that Google looks at when ranking websites is their domain authority. And your authority is a rating that Google gives your website. And the way you improve that authority is getting backlinks from authoritative websites. So let's say you're a Chicago-based financial advisory firm, and you have a backlink from one of the local news stations or from a Chicago publication, their website. That looks really good in Google's eyes, and you're definitely going to reap the benefits of that. But let's say, let's go back to Chicago financial advisory firm. You have a backlink from some, very low quality website based out of China or India or somewhere. First of all, those links probably aren't relevant, but those are very low quality backlinks. And so again, those are going to be red flags in Google's eyes, and your site will be punished in the rankings for that. And lastly, if this still you still haven't caught on to this, the best way to think about a backlink strategy for your website and what you should be doing, think about the internet as a neighborhood, or as a neighborhood. Let's stay with that example. And let's say that your website, it's in you're looking to move in to some neighborhood. You wanted to move into a neighborhood that has good links and quality links and relevant links. So your website, if it has those good quality links those that are relevant, it's going to be in a good link neighborhood. But let's say it has spammy links, links from websites selling Viagra, for example, or it has low quality backlinks. Google is going to place it in a bad link neighborhood. And it's very difficult to get out of that bad link neighborhood. So you definitely want to make sure that you start off on the right track and get quality and relevant links. And this is just a simple diagram of some of the ways you can get links. So you can request links from different sources. That probably won't be very effective because people don't just give out links. You can do press releases for your firm. You can do media interviews. So if the local news station is looking to interview someone on something that's related to your areas of specialization, that's a great opportunity to get a high quality backlink. One thing that you also want to look at is where are your competitors getting their backlinks from? And there are a variety of different tools you can use to get that information. But if, let's say, you're ranking number 5 and your competitor is ranking number 1, a good strategy would just be to see where they're getting backlinks and try to get backlinks from those sources as well. You want to create content that is linkable. So if there's like an engaging tool you can use, so if there's a tool that can gauge if someone, for example, is ready for retirement or how much money they would need to retire safely, that's a great tool to include in your website, and that's something that people will link to automatically. Create engaging videos. As I mentioned before, videos, they can serve a wide variety of purposes online, including being linkable. Infographics. So if there is something, some frequent question that you're getting from clients, create an infographic that answers that question. Infographics look nice and they are very linkable material. People like to link to infographics. As I mentioned before, check out directories that are in your areas of specialization. So go after directories that are geo-targeted. So Miami-based business directories, Houston-based business directories, San Francisco-based business directories, and directories that are niche relevant. So financial advisor directories, something like estate planning directories, retirement directories, and so forth. Another way you can get backlinks is through forums and comments. So if there is a relevant forum out there, go in there maybe a few times a week and add a relevant comment that helps the folks there. Not only is that a great way to get relevant traffic back to your website, but you can also get some build your authority that way as well. And lastly, and this is actually one of our favorites to use, are guest blog posts. So there are different bloggers out there that are always looking for ways to add more useful content for their readership. So a great way, you have the expertise, just share it. Write up a good 1,000 word article and share it with someone, a blogger in your niche or in your area. It's definitely helpful, and it's definitely a way to get your content and your business in front of more eyeballs. Now moving on, and this is just an example here. So this is a search for a Austin financial advisor. And these metrics down here, there are several, but the one you need to be worried about here is the number of linking domains. So L stands for links, LD stands for linking domains. So you can see here, number 9, Barnett Financial, they have 482 links and 482 linking domains, while this website, Financial Engines, has 157. So as I mentioned before, the number of backlinks is very important in Google's eyes as far as ranking. You can see clearly why Barnett Financial is outranking Austin Financial Engines for Austin. just due to the number of backlinks. Now, another great way to build inbound links and authority is to consistently create fresh content. Now, you're in business, you help people with their financial matters, and therefore you're a subject matter expert. And you should take advantage of any opportunity you have to showcase that expertise. So that includes creating articles on your website and on other relevant websites. That includes creating videos on YouTube and cross-marketing them on your social media pages and on your website, and creating images such as infographics and audio. Now, a great idea you can do for audio, if you do have some capacity, you can create a podcast, a weekly podcast or a monthly podcast where you are answering different questions that you're getting from your clients, or you can even set it up in an interview style format where you are interviewing leaders in your industry. So a great example of this, let's say there's a financial planning expert who writes literature on the subject. A great idea if you focus on retirement planning is to interview that person and really help him showcase his or her expertise on your podcast. So, and it's important to create great content, but it's just as important to market that content and syndicate it to different sources online. So let's go back to your website. Let's say you create a great piece of content. It's very helpful, very useful. But if someone doesn't go to your website, they're never going to see it. So you want to make sure that you are marketing that content on your Facebook page, on your LinkedIn profile, on your company's LinkedIn profile. You want to put that content out there on Web 2.0 websites and just really make it more visible to potential clients. And not only does this help you be more visible, but it helps build your authority from an SEO perspective. Now, moving on to step 6 of putting into place an effective online marketing strategy for your financial advisory firm. Getting active on social media. Now, what's your number one source of new business? And really, in other words, and I mentioned this earlier in the presentation, where are your target audience? Where's your target audience and clientele? Where are they on social media? This could be Facebook, this could be LinkedIn, this could be YouTube. It really varies from business to business. The key takeaway here is that wherever they are, that's where you should be on social media. You'll hear some advice that you should be everywhere on every platform, and there are hundreds of them. But that really isn't the most efficient use of your time. So definitely, pick those top 2 to 3 platforms and really go all out with your marketing there. Now, with social media, a great benefit of being active there is that most social media sites your clients can go on there and pretty much make a referral for you. Facebook, they have the like system, and you can also, if you have a business page, they can go in there and give you a star rating and a review. YouTube, they have comments, and you can just ask your client, hey, go write a comment about your experience with our team on our YouTube page. That's a great way to showcase client satisfaction on YouTube. And they can also like your video as well. Now, this is an example of a Altru Vista. They are a firm based here in Houston, and you see they are doing some good things with their Facebook page. First of all, they do have a call now button. So that tells people, hey, call us now. We are ready to talk to you. And one thing here that I wanted to point out, they're very responsive to messages. While this might seem very small, when something like this shows up on your Facebook page, it shows that you're very responsive to potential clients, and this can really bode well for you for clients, as it shows that your level of communication is high and that you are very responsive to them. Now, in regards to where to start, in our experience working with financial advisors, LinkedIn is typically the best place. Typically, you're going after business-minded individuals who either are working, have some type of a career, and this is, most uh, professionals do have some type of LinkedIn profile. So sharing your information there, putting out content there is a great way to leverage this source of qualified leads. Second, your Facebook business page. Great, everyone has a Facebook, and it's a great way to reach a mass audience very quickly. Twitter, it might not fit for your business. It really depends on your target demographic, but it's definitely a great way to build a following. YouTube. Um, Again, YouTube, you can leverage videos on YouTube on your website, and it's a great way for people to see a face with the name, with your brand. Um, so I definitely recommend YouTube if you want to go the video marketing route. Google Plus. While Google Plus might not be the most popular as far as being social, posting content and updates on your Google Plus page is very important for your SEO. Um, as you can probably imagine, Google Plus is Google's social platform, and anything that's posted there, so let's say you have a new blog and you post it on your Google Plus page, it gets indexed faster, and it has a great chance of getting ranked faster just because it's on the Google Plus page. And lastly, your blog. So you definitely want to make sure you keep your blog up to date. I recommend for my clients no less than twice a month, and preferably once a week, so 2 to 4 times. But the most important thing, you want to write good content, useful content, not just throw anything up there. And you want to make sure that you're consistent with your schedule. So if you and your team decide that you're going to post weekly, make sure you stick to that schedule no matter what, just so that your followers and your readers and your potential clients know exactly what to expect. Now, moving on, leveraging email to get your initial engagement from your social media pages is a great way to make social media work for you. And once you start building your email list, you want to send them weekly blasts. And you might have seen this, you're probably on some email lists already, where these blasts will be helpful articles for your target audience and the type of content that they would be interested in reading. And this shouldn't be just about sales. Hey, book our services. You want to provide information and really do that educational marketing that will help build trust, your clients' trust in you, or people who are considering um, paying for your services. And you always want to engage. So Facebook, LinkedIn, regardless of what social media platform you pick, you want to engage with your followers. So if they comment on something on one of your social media assets, make sure to respond to that comment. If they like something on your page, make sure to thank them explicitly for that like. Now moving on to the top of our pyramid that I discussed before, step 7, exploring paid online marketing opportunities. And you have several avenues here. You have, of course, pay-per-click marketing, often called PPC, and you can advertise on Google. It's called AdWords, and you can also advertise on Bing or Yahoo. You can opt for paid online directory listings. So in Angie's List, YP, that's yellowpages.com, yelp.com, and so on. And there are also some paid lead services out there. So one popular one is financial engines. You can also have senior leads. And these companies, they help you find leads. Now, the only issue with these lead services, and right now I'm talking about the third bullet point here, you really don't have too much control over the quality of the lead. So if that is a direction you want to go in, definitely try to understand, communicate with that company about the quality of lead, the type of lead that you're looking for, to make sure that you're getting the best ROI. Now, for the rest of this section, I'm going to focus on why most PPC campaigns fail. And it's usually for several reasons. Now, I'll get into the first issue that I see with a lot of PPC campaigns with clients before they come to us. They have one ad group for all of their services. So a good analogy for this, if you're not familiar with ad groups and PPC, let's say you had a billboard on the side of the freeway, and in that billboard you are advertising retirement planning services. Now that's great, but let's say from that billboard you're also expecting it to bring in people interested in business exit planning, people interested in estate planning, and so forth. Services that aren't even related to retirement planning. Now, it's not very probable that this billboard will be effective with bringing in those other target audiences. And you can think of an ad group that is targeting different services the same way. It's probably not going to be very effective. So I definitely encourage you to always have a unique ad group with unique ads and unique keywords for each one of your services. Now, the second thing I often see, and this is a great segue from the first point, firms usually don't use specific text ads or landing pages for their group of keywords. So in your text ad, it should be written and engaging exactly that specific client that you're looking for. So if you're looking for your ad campaign, you're looking for clients interested in business exit planning help, that should be explicit in your text ad. And furthermore, once that potential client clicks on that ad, they should be taken to a landing page that only talks about business exit planning, nothing else. And that's very important. And Google, they actually give a relevancy score that gauges how relevant your ad is to the landing page that you're taking people to. And lastly, and this unfortunately people still are making this mistake, there's no strong call to action or offer on the landing page. So obviously the reason why you're paying to get traffic to your website is you want people to take action, that you want them to call you, submit a form or something. And many times I see financial advisors, they don't have any type of call to action on their landing page, and they don't have any incentive for people to contact them. So for example, if you had a landing page for retirement planning, and at the end you have a great copy on the page, great text, great content, it's really engaging, you added a few testimonials to really convince potential clients that you are the number one choice for their needs, but you don't tell them what to do afterwards. So typically you want to have a call to action button that says something like, call us now, sign up today for a complimentary meeting, something along those lines. And these are some more tips for AdWords and really any paid advertising campaign. You might think that the highest budget and the highest bid on keywords wins, and it's always going to be at the top. That's not always true. One thing that Google definitely looks at is quality score. Um, and so, quality score, that's how relevant your ad is, how relevant it is to the landing page, how relevant it is to the search query. And so Google is only going to serve the most relevant results. All the algorithm changes you hear, panda, penguin, pretty much every animal in the zoo, it's all going in direction to make Google or make Google provide the most relevant search results for users and to make the search experience as user friendly as possible. And so while bidding is important, you need to have a sufficient budget to realistically compete. You can't compete if your budget is $50, you can't compete with another firm and their budget is $10,000 a month. It's just not realistic. But all things being equal, your quality score, how relevant your ads are, drives the position of your ads and the cost per click, or how much you're going to be charged for each click on that ad. So now you might be wondering, how does Google determine quality score for your ad? Now, we already talked about relevance, so how relevant it is for that search term, but there are two other components that make up the quality score calculation. First is your click-through rate. So out of all the ads, all of the searches where your ads are showing up for, what percentage of people are clicking on your ad? And Google uses this as a signal that if that click-through rate is high, then it's very likely that your ad is relevant to that search query. Now, the third component here is quality of your landing page. And there are a lot of different factors to look at here. But of course, it needs to be relevant to that search term. It needs to be clean, so very well designed, very easy to read. And it needs to have some call to action. Now, in Google's eyes, what's most important is your bounce rate. Or in other words, how long people are staying on that particular page. It's great if you're getting a lot of clicks to your landing page where people are staying 5 seconds then leaving, then that shows Google that it's not very user friendly. It's not providing people what they're looking for. But let's say you do a great job with the content, people want to read it, and you also have some testimonial videos, you have a video of yourself maybe. People are going to sit there and watch those, and that adds to what we call in the industry stickiness. So how sticky is your page, and how likely are people to spend time on it? So that's very important as you build out your landing page for your PPC campaign. And see, this is just an example here, so you can see this is Mary and Tom, and so Mary is bidding $2 per click, Tom is bidding $4, but you can see here that Mary's quality score is 10 while Tom's is 4. So you can see how this plays out, the ad rank. So the ad rank score for Mary is 20 while the ad rank score for Tom is 16. And so due to this ad rank score, Mary is actually number 1 over Tom, even though Tom is bidding twice the amount per click. And then how this comes down to your CPC, you can see that calculation here. And that's really how quality score can help you save money and outbid your competitors who might have larger advertising budgets. And again, the key takeaway here is not only is your campaign budget important, but your quality is just as important. And now I'll get more into detail about ad groups. So I mentioned before that you want to have especially targeted ad groups for each of your services. So these are just some of the services that your firm might offer. So let's say you're doing investment advisory services. You want to make sure your ad group, so that includes your keywords that you're targeting for that ad group, the ad text that you're using in your ads, and your landing page, all closely aligned with the key subject of investment advisory services. So if you're not familiar, ad group consists of the several things I just mentioned. The ad copy, so what you actually see in Google when you search, the group of keywords. So these are the keywords that your ad is going to show up for if someone is searching for them, and the specific landing page. So once someone reads your ad and clicks, where that ad is taking them to, that's the landing page component. And a simple ad group template here, very simple. So your keywords is the list of keywords pertaining to that ad group. So investment advisory keywords, if we had that for our ad group. Your text ads, they should include some of those keywords. So usually you want to include like the most primary keyword within your list of keywords. Some other things you might want to include your address or your phone number. So if someone doesn't have time to click through to your landing page, they can just give you a call. You also want to include some type of offer or incentive. So if your firm offers complimentary meetings, definitely include that into your ad text. Your landing page should match what the ad says. So if you use a particular phrase in your text ad, it's good practice to use that on your landing page. Also, you want to incorporate your keywords into the text on your landing page. So this is just an example, and let's say we are targeting an ad group that is built around tax planning. So your landing page content should probably say something like this: are you in need of tax planning services in the Atlanta area? Contact the experts at XYC Financial Advisory Services for immediate and comprehensive service and that's the phone number. Other good practices for your landing page, you want to state your value proposition, experience, maybe provide some links to reviews, or probably better, provide those testimonials and video testimonials right there on the page. And then you want to end with your offer, your call to action. So sign up today or call us today for a free 30-minute consultation. And so this is what this will look like if we were targeting tax planning or folks who are searching for tax planning services in the Atlanta area. So you can see here, these are just some of the keywords that we will use. So tax planning services Atlanta, financial and tax planning services, strategic financial and tax planning services. And remember that Google knows where these searchers are. So even though Atlanta is not in the actual keyword, if someone in Atlanta is searching for this, it'll automatically show Atlanta based results. And this is your text ad. So strategic tax planning, that's the headline, and then free 30-minute consultations, then a call to action. And your landing page, now the URL is pretty important. You want to make sure that you include the ad group, so the target keyword in your URL some type of way. This shows people that they are in the right place, and it does improve your quality score. And then again, this is the content that we went over before, but make sure that your content and your keywords and your ad text and your landing page, they all align, and that will help you get a good quality score for your ads. And so those are the basics, but just some other expert tips. Focus on keywords with buying intent. So going back to the tax planning example, there's a big difference between tax planning and tax planning services. Now, someone who's looking for tax planning, they might be, doing a research project, or they might be looking to do this themselves and just need some advice, need to read some articles on it. Whereas tax planning services, that's someone who's looking for a servicer to help them with their tax planning. Now with PPC, you only want to focus on those keywords with buying intent. And so in that example, tax planning services has higher buyer intent than tax planning. You want to use dedicated landing pages. So I typically recommend for clients to not use pages on their website for PPC landing pages. You want specially built pages where there's no top navigation. The only thing that's on that page is whatever service that you're advertising. And the reason why you don't want to include a top navigation menu, these would be ways that people would exit out of that page. And you have to think about this as a funnel. The less holes that you have in that funnel, the more likely people are to call you and take action. So just think about that. You want to have dedicated landing pages with no distractions, no links to other pages. You want to use call tracking numbers. So let's say you're using your company number and you're using that on your landing page. For metrics and tracking purposes, you might have received 100 calls from your landing page, from your PPC campaign. But if you don't have it set up to where you're tracking it, you have no idea how effective that campaign is for driving new business to your company. So we use something called call tracking numbers, where basically it will be a number that's different than your company number, but it will forward to your company's number. So if your number is 888-8562-8378, and we had a call tracking number that is different, when someone calls that tracking number, it will automatically forward to your number. Now, on the analysis end, this helps us see, okay, people who called that tracking number, this is how many people came from your PPC campaign. And you can justify and measure just how effective your PPC campaign is. Next, ad extensions. And Google does a great job giving you options. You can add your phone number to your ads. You can add your offer to your ads and so forth. And this is just a way for your ad to take up more real estate and really to stand out among your competitors. So always use ad extensions where possible. And a big part of marketing is testing what works. So try out different ad formats. You might want to try out display ads. So not only just doing text ads in Google search results, but creating some creative, creating some images, and having those have those targeted to people across the web. You might also want to try out retargeting. So you might have seen this where you visited a website and then it seems like everywhere you go after that, you're seeing ads for that company across the web. Well, that's what retargeting is. It's basically retargeting people who visited your website who might be shopping around. You want your company to stay top of mind, and so that's why you would use retargeting ads. And then try out different platforms. Google and Bing and Yahoo, they aren't the only paid advertising platforms. You also have social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, and you can also probably work out deals with different websites that are in your niche, whether that be retirement planning, financial advisory services, business estate planning, and so forth. So just really explore your different options. And now moving on to step 8, tracking, measuring, and quantifying your results. At the end of the day, it's all about ROI. You can do all of the marketing strategy, put all of the marketing pieces in place, But if it's not bringing positive results to your business, then it's not useful. So you definitely want to become more comfortable with Google Analytics and watching traffic trends on your website. You want to track your online rankings for the important keywords that you are going after. You would definitely want to consider call tracking phone numbers, as I mentioned before. And you want to put a CRM or some other type of tracking tool in place to track lead sources and how much you're building them and exactly where they are in your sales funnel. And now this is just a recap. You have 8 steps to online success, and each one of these steps will help you build and put into place a effective marketing strategy for your financial advisory business. I definitely recommend, as before, starting with SEO, but then as you move down this list, focusing on maps listings and social media, and then finally paid advertising. And most importantly, you want to track, measure, and quantify your results to making sure that you're getting the biggest bang for your buck. Now, you have watched this presentation, you know what you need to do. You have 3 options: do nothing and let your competitors continue to beat you online, learn how to do it on your own, which quite honestly might not be the most efficient avenue, or you can hire an expert who's familiar with SEO, social media, PPC, and is well aware of all of the trends and new changes that Google and the other search engines are making. Now, I'll pose to you this question: how would you like us to do this for you? We have several years of experience working with financial advisors and financial professionals across the U.S. One thing we do promise, we only work with one financial professional in each city. So when you work with us, we're not helping your competitors outrank you. Uh, this is how the process works. Typically, we will take a look at your website. Once you tell us that you're interested in a web presence review, we'll take a look at your website. We'll help you develop a keyword list that is unique for your location and your business. We'll help you determine your current rankings. So where are you currently listed at on Google? We'll review your website for different conversion elements that we mentioned earlier in this video, and making sure that those are in place, and if they're not, definitely highlighting how you can improve your website from a conversion optimization standpoint. We assess your backlinks, your citations, and your reviews. And not only will we do all these things for your website, but we will also take a look at your competitors to make sure that you do have a strategy to help you move forward and beat them. We will recommend your course of action. This is a value of $497, but we're offering it as a complimentary service with working with us. If you are interested, go to financierseo.net/review and sign up today for your web presence review. Now that brings me to the end of the presentation. But if you have any questions, again, my name is Leonard Parker. I have over 5 years of experience working in the digital marketing realm. That includes SEO, social media marketing, PPC marketing, website development and design, and several years as well working with financial advisors such as yourself. If you would like to contact me directly, my number is 713-857-8403. Thank you for watching, and I wish you luck as you execute on your online marketing strategy.